If your energy is low and you feel like you're running at half capacity, that's not just age catching up with you. That's what low testosterone actually feels like from the inside. And the difference between where you are now and feeling sharp, strong, and motivated again isn't a brutal lifting program. There are simpler, more accessible habits that shift testosterone faster than most people realize. Cold exposure is the first thing on this list, and it belongs here because the return on a 2 to 3 minute investment is almost unfair compared to what most people are doing to support their testosterone. When you end your shower with cold water, your body responds by reducing systemic inflammation, dropping cortisol, and strengthening the luteinizing hormone signal that tells your body to produce testosterone in the first place. And here's why that matters. Testosterone doesn't just need a reason to be produced. It needs the right internal conditions, and a lot of people's bodies are too inflamed and too stressed to produce it efficiently. Cold exposure changes that environment faster than almost list. Start with 30 seconds at the end of your normal shower and work up to 2 to 3 minutes over a couple of weeks. The adaptation happens faster than you'd expect. But if you can push past that first impulse to quit, something interesting starts to happen. Your body stops reading the cold as a threat and starts reading it as a signal to become more resilient. That shift in how you feel getting out of the shower every morning is your hormonal environment beginning to move in the right direction. If you've been feeling softer around the middle despite not eating differently, and your motivation to do much about it has been unusually low, those two things are connected in a way most people never get told about. Body composition changes and a quiet loss of drive are two of the most consistent early signs that testosterone is declining, and they tend to reinforce each other in a cycle that's hard to break from the outside. But there's a tool that addresses both through the same mechanism, and you may be walking past it without a second thought. Sauna exposure, specifically sessions of 15 to 20 minutes at high heat, stimulates growth hormone release and supports testosterone through improved circulation and reduced oxidative stress. It creates a hormonal stimulus that mirrors what hard training is supposed to produce without the cortisol spike that comes with it. Sound familiar? It's the same principle as cold exposure, but working from the opposite direction. You're not exhausting your system, you're challenging it in a controlled way it can recover from quickly and respond to hormonally. 3 to 4 sessions per week is enough to produce a measurable shift over time, and the recovery window between sessions is where your body does the actual hormonal work. If you're realizing that the missing piece isn't more training, but smarter inputs that your body can actually respond to, then what I put together in the Reset Your Body Blueprint is going to feel like it was built specifically for you. Most programs ignore mobility and stability and go straight to loading movements your body isn't prepared for. The Reset Your Body Blueprint was built differently. It focuses on the foundations that actually make strength training work: mobility, stability, and the movement patterns your body needs before adding load. When those pieces are in place, everything else, strength, energy, recovery, responds faster. The Blueprint is a digital program you can start today. No gym required, and no trainer needed to decode it. If you're ready to build a body that actually functions the way you want it to, check the link in the description below the video. Now, the habits covered so far work best when your body is also being asked to move and perform, and you don't need heavy loading to create that demand. There's a specific feeling that creeps in when testosterone starts dropping that goes beyond tiredness. It's the feeling of being physically less capable than you used to be. Movements that used to feel easy start requiring more effort. You feel less solid, less coordinated, like your body isn't quite responding the way it should. That feeling isn't in your head, and it isn't inevitable. What your hormonal system actually responds to is full body demand, the kind that recruits multiple muscle groups, challenges your stability, and forces your nervous system to coordinate a complex movement pattern. Compound bodyweight movements, squats, hip hinges, push-ups, and split stance exercises done with control and full range of motion create that demand without the joint stress that comes with heavy loading. Here's the thing, the testosterone signal from training isn't about how much weight is on the bar. It's about how much of your body is involved in the effort. A slow, controlled bodyweight squat taken to full depth with a brief pause at the bottom recruits more muscle and creates more systemic demand than a loaded squat done with momentum and a partial range. 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, full range, full control, 1 minute of rest between sets. Look, FitZip isn't about chasing load. It's about training in a way your body can actually respond to and recover from. A lot of men quietly notice that their muscles don't respond the way they used to. They put in the effort, but the results feel muted, like the signal isn't getting through as clearly as it once did. That's not imagination. Declining testosterone directly affects your body's ability to build and maintain muscle tissue, which means the training has to be smarter, not harder. There's a form of resistance training that creates genuine hormonal stimulus, protects your joints, and produces a stronger muscle-building signal per rep than most people expect from something that doesn't look particularly intense. sense. Resistance bands create continuous tension through the entire range of motion, which means your muscles are working harder for longer during each rep than they are with free weights, where tension drops off at the top of most movements. That continuous time under tension is one of the primary mechanical triggers for testosterone response in resistance training. Banded squats, rows, hip hinges, and pressing movements done for 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps, with bands that genuinely challenge you in the final few reps of each set, will produce a hormonal environment your body can recover from within 24 hours. And here's why that recovery window matters. More frequent stimulus means more consistent hormonal output over time. If you've been waking up foggy, finding it harder to stay focused through the day, or noticing that your mood is less stable than it used to be, the answer probably isn't more caffeine. Brain fog, mood shifts, and that flat emotional feeling that makes everything feel slightly harder than it should are among the most overlooked symptoms of disrupted testosterone production, and they almost always trace back to the same place. 90% of your daily testosterone is produced during sleep, specifically during the deep and REM stages that your body cycles through in the later hours of the night, not during training, not during recovery. During sleep. Think about that for a second. Every disrupted night, every late bedtime, every morning you wake up before your body is ready is directly suppressing the hormone responsible for your energy, your clarity, and your emotional steadiness. The protocol is consistent sleep and wake times, a dark and cool room, and a firm stop on alcohol within 3 hours of bed. Alcohol specifically disrupts the sleep stages where testosterone is produced, even if you sleep a full 8 hours. Fix the sleep, and everything else on this list starts working harder for you. There's a nutrient that most men dealing with these symptoms are chronically low in, one that functions less like a vitamin and more like a hormone inside your body, and its deficiency is quietly putting a ceiling on everything else you're doing. Low vitamin D is one of the most consistent findings in men experiencing fatigue, low mood, and reduced drive, and the connection isn't coincidental. Vitamin D directly regulates the genes involved in testosterone synthesis, and men who are deficient and begin correcting it consistently show meaningful increases in testosterone within a few months. 20 minutes of direct sun exposure on your arms and legs between mid-morning and early afternoon gives your body the raw material it needs to produce it naturally. If consistent sun exposure isn't realistic, a daily D3 supplement of 2,000 to 4,000 IU is the next best option. And here's where it gets even deeper. Vitamin D deficiency doesn't cause dramatic symptoms on its own. It just makes everything slightly harder, your energy slightly lower, your mood slightly flatter, your body slightly less responsive. There's a silent force working against every other habit on this list, and if it goes unchecked, it doesn't matter how consistent you are with anything else. Cortisol and testosterone operate in direct opposition to each other. When cortisol stays elevated, your body allocates its resources toward managing the perceived threat and pulls back from everything it considers non-essential. Testosterone production is one of the first things it deprioritizes, but there's something else happening that's harder to see. The stress doesn't have to feel severe to suppress testosterone. It just has to be consistent. The low-grade, always-on kind that most people have normalized as just part of life is enough to keep cortisol elevated around the clock. Daily breath work, even 5 minutes of slow nasal breathing with extended exhales, activates your parasympathetic nervous system and begins lowering cortisol within a single session. Done consistently, it shifts your hormonal baseline in a direction that makes every other habit on this list more effective. The cold exposure works better. The sleep gets deeper. The training produces a stronger response. This isn't the last item because it's the least important. It's last because without it, everything else is working uphill. If you want the full system to get your body moving and feeling the way you want it to, the Reset Your Body Blueprint is linked in the description.